As you set off on another journey, you've probably got a lot more on your mind than the laws of physics, the laws which govern how the huge mass of metal and the load you carry behaves as you move it to its destination. But they are laws nonetheless, laws that must be obeyed, and there's a heavy penalty for anyone who tries to break them. Rollover accidents like these can occur with little or no warning to the driver and at very low speeds. A whole vehicle and its cargo can be written off, and the risk to the driver and other road users are frightening. So, what is it that causes a vehicle to suddenly turn over? This is where the laws of physics come in. When your vehicle is moving, it's subjected to certain forces which try and push it away from the course that you want it to follow. It takes terrific power from the engine to get your vehicle to move at all, and when it is moving, its speed and weight produce a momentum which keeps it going. This force, which resists acceleration and braking, is called inertia, the unwillingness to change when you begin a turn. The vehicle's inertia tries to keep it moving in a straight line. By steering, you introduce a force which overcomes the inertia and turns the vehicle the way you want it to go. But this turning action creates another force known as centrifugal force, which pushes the vehicle away from the center of the turn. If this centrifugal force is great enough, it can actually push the vehicle over. The centrifugal force acts through a point at the center of the mass of the vehicle called the center of gravity. If the center of gravity is shifted sufficiently, the vehicle becomes unstable. As the tanker is loaded, the center of gravity rises, and the higher the center of gravity, the greater the effect of centrifugal force. It's important that your cargo is loaded correctly, especially when it's a mixed load. If the balance is wrong, it could affect the center of gravity, especially if part of the load is liquid. To make matters worse, there are other factors that can exaggerate the effects of centrifugal force and further increase the risks to the driver. Your vehicle is supported by suspension. The suspension is compressed by the weight of the vehicle, but exerts a constant upward force on it as the equipment tries to return to its original shape. When you enter a bend, centrifugal force pushes the vehicle outwards, easing the pressure on the suspension on the inner sides, pushing that side of the vehicle upwards. A deflection of as little as 3 or 4 centimeters can significantly alter the position of the center of gravity of the vehicle, enough to make it potentially unstable. The condition of the tires is another important factor, and one in which you have control. When cornering, the weight of the vehicle shifts to the outside of the wheels and tires. If the tires are underinflated, they can become flexed, making it impossible for them to get a firm grip on the road. Flexing will also cause shift in the load, which will reduce the stability of the vehicle. The camber of the road can also present problems, especially if it slopes away from the turn. A slope on the road means that your center of gravity has already shifted, even before centrifugal force begins to have an effect. Add to these poor weather conditions, which restrict visibility and your grip on the road, and those theoretical laws of physics become very real dangers. The control you have to protect yourself is speed. Reduce your speed and you reduce all those forces. These forces affect every driver, but the driver of a liquid tanker faces special problems because the liquid in the tanker can move independently from the vehicle itself. The tanker and its cargo are effectively 2 separate bodies. Inertia and centrifugal force will affect each separately. When the vehicle moves forward, the liquid surges to the back wall of the tanker. If the brakes are applied, the vehicle slows down, but the liquid continues to move. The movement of the liquid shifts the weight distribution of the whole vehicle in a way which is unpredictable as it's dangerous. The problems of liquid movement depend on the density of the liquid and its level in the tank. The hazards are least severe when the tanker is full. The greater the ullage, the greater the risk. So, how does the movement of the liquid cargo affect your vehicle? When you enter a bend, centrifugal force pulls the cargo to one side of the tank, which could shift the center of gravity of the whole vehicle to a dangerous degree. This is in addition to the centrifugal force which is already acting on the vehicle. At roundabouts, where several turns are made in quick succession, the rapidly changing liquid movement can create a pendulum motion. By the second or third turn, the liquid movement, combined with the centrifugal force, can be enough to pull the vehicle over. Swerving to avoid unexpected obstacles is another situation where liquid surge can send your vehicle out of control. Pendulum surging can also accrue on rough roads or through sudden or erratic braking. A dangerous level of liquid surge could be developing within the tank without the driver being aware of what's happening. He may only realize that something's wrong when he actually sees the rear wheel of the tanker lifting off the ground. By this time, he could be just seconds away from rollover, and it's too late to take any form of corrective action. The only way of avoiding dangers of forces is to make sure that it doesn't occur in the first place. As with all driving, the key is to plan well ahead, constantly observing what's going on around you and taking the appropriate action. Always keep to the correct position on the road, so that if an unexpected obstacle does appear, you can pass it smoothly and safely without any sudden or violent changes of direction. When you approach a bend, slow down in plenty of time before you reach the turn. Today, the cabs of modern vehicles are so quiet and comfortable that it's easy to lose track of your speed. Don't rely on your own judgment. Use your speedometer. Check the safety of any maneuver using both mirrors, and make sure that no other vehicles, especially cyclists, are close by. Signal your intention and slow down progressively using your brakes. Select and engage the correct gear before you enter the bend. Maintain a constant speed throughout the bend and keep both hands firmly on the steering wheel. Centrifugal forces will inevitably shift the forces outwards. If you keep to the correct speed, that force won't be sufficient to endanger the vehicle. But if you change your speed or the line of your turn, the forces will shift further. If you do need to ease your steering during the bend, it means that you're going too fast, and centrifugal force has reached a dangerous level. It's only your skill as a professional driver that can prevent these kind of horrific accidents. Remember, think ahead and plan every move. Expect the unexpected. Keep a firm grip on the wheel. Check your mirrors. Signal your intentions and watch your speed. Continually observe the road conditions all around, but also think about those two huge separate masses behind you producing those conflicting forces. Every time you apply the brakes, every time you take a bend, forces which, unless controlled, will roll you over. The laws of physics draw the line between safety and disaster for you and your vehicle. Obey them and you'll come to no harm. Break them and you may not live to regret it.